Coming to the next topic, that is type of the organizations. There are two types of organization, right, in all business organizations, that is formal organization and informal organization. Formal organization, it refers to the basic organization structure which has deliberately been created, right, by the organization for the fulfillment of the organizational goals, right. Now coming to the features, it has well-defined jobs. It is nothing else, formal organization is nothing else but the organization structures that we've studied in the previous lectures, that is functional and divisional structures. They are nothing else but your part of formal organization, wherein we have well-defined jobs. Each and every person's role is very clearly defined, right? What are his duties and responsibilities, and what is the kind of authority that has been given to him, who are going to report to him, and to whom is he going to report. That is very clearly defined. So you have very well defined jobs. It is deliberately created by the organization. It will be deliberately created so as to achieve the organizational goals effectively and efficiently, right? Only if you have these authority responsibility relationships clearly defined, if you have the job of each and every person, rather the role of each and every person in the organization clearly defined, only then can you aim at achieving the organizational goals effectively and efficiently. Then it follows the official prescriptions. Now what do you mean by official prescription? It means the policies and the procedures which have been designed by the management, right, which have been designed by the top level management. They follow only that, right? They follow the code of conduct which has been designed by the top level management, right? So they follow the official prescriptions. Then it is job performance oriented. They are, formal organization basically is job performance oriented. It is focused at the performance of the task assigned, right? The task which has been assigned to a particular person must be performed by him effectively and efficiently. There is no room for the human element, right? It does not basically care to satisfy the social needs of any employee of the organization. They are only aimed at, or they only focus at job performance. Then they follow formal channels of communication, right? Like हमने जब उसका scalar chain किया था principle, we said this is A, B, C, D, E, यहाँ पे F, G, H and I, right? They will follow formal channels of communication. That is, if A has to inform something to E, so A will tell B, B will tell C, C will tell D, and D will finally inform E. This is an official chain of command. This is an official chain of communication. Likewise, if he has to communicate with I, he will have to go via D, C, B, A, and then so on and so forth, right? So this is the official chain of command. Then coordinated efforts, right? The efforts of each and every department, each and every person involved in the formal organization, when we say, right, each and every part of the organization is coordinated towards the accomplishment of the organizational goals, right? So the main objective of the formal organization is to achieve the basically is एक structure ऐसा setup करना जहाँ पे कि everyone performs their duty or the task assigned to them in a most effective and efficient manner, so that the organizational goals are successfully achieved, right? Now there are certain advantages as well as disadvantages of the formal organization. Advantages are fixation of responsibility. Now because the duty of each and every person is clearly defined, the task that a person is supposed to do is clearly defined, therefore the responsibility for non-accomplishment of the objectives for that particular department or non-accomplishment of that task can easily be fixed. You can hold a particular person responsible or a particular department responsible for non-accomplishment of the goals, right? Then there is clarity of duties. Okay? Clarity of duties, because when in an organization structure we said that the authority responsibility relationships are developed, that is, who's going to report to them, right? Who's going to report to A and to whom is A going to report. So he's very clear about that, right? So every person, the role of each and every person of the organization is pretty clear in a formal organization, right? What role each and every person is going to play is very, very clear. Then there is unity of command, because I told you that it is very clear कि आपको किसको रिपोर्ट करना है और आपको कौन रिपोर्ट कर रहा है, ठीक है? एक तो इसकी बहुत क्लैरिटी है. एंड देयर इज ऑलवेज यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड, बिकॉज ये रिलेशनशिप्स क्लियर है, राइट? सो यू विल नेवर हैव वन पर्सन रिपोर्टिंग टू टू बॉसेस. What does the principle of unity of command say? It says that each person must get instructions only from one boss, right? One person should not be working under two bosses. So a clear definition of duty and authority responsibility relationship ensures that there is always unity of command. Then it is helpful in achieving organizational objectives. I told you the structure of the formal organization is basically designed for the successful accomplishment of the organizational goals, right? Disadvantages of formal organization is lack of initiative, because they follow official prescriptions, right? That is the policies and the rules and the regulations designed by the organization, okay? And if any employee falters in following the rules and regulations designed by the top level management, fine, he's supposed to be, he will be called as inefficient or ineffective. So at all points of time, all employees or everyone in the formal organization, they are under a pressure to follow the official prescriptions, as a result of which there is no self initiative. अपने आप से कोई initiative नहीं लेता if they are able to think of a creative solution to a problem, but no, ठीक है? उनके दिमाग में their role is very clearly defined that this is your role. तो अगर तो वो काम मेरे purview में आ रहा है, it's all right. If it is not, if it doesn't fall within my purview, but it's an excellent idea, right? Still, I am not going to give it. Why? Because I am only bothered about following the official prescriptions, right? Then it ignores the human element. As it is job performance oriented, it ignores the social needs of the employees. Social needs meaning the need to talk to your people, need to talk to people around, need to feel belonging, that need of being wanted or belonging to a particular group. It clearly ignores that. Then there is delay in action. Why is there a delay in action? Again, I will give the example of scalar chain, right? If I am to follow the official channels of communication, ठीक है? तो अगर E को कुछ डिसीजन लेना है, he will first have to seek permission from A. So again E to D, D to C, C to B, B to A, and then यहाँ पे वापस इसके पास कम्युनिकेट होगा. पर जब तक हो सकता है कम्युनिकेट हो, तब तक वो अपॉर्चुनिटी ही खत्म हो चुकी है फ्रॉम द एनवायरमेंट. सो इट leads to a delay in decision making and delay in action also, right? Now coming to within the formal organization, right? इसी फॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ही बन जाता है एक हमारा इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. नाउ इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज नथिंग एल्स बट इट डेवलप्स ऑन इट्स ओन विद इन अ फॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. It develops on its own within a formal organization. Like let's say in a formal organization we say that we have a CEO, right? We have a president and then we have a vice president, right? Then we have divisional heads and then we have departmental heads. Okay? Now let us say that a departmental head and a divisional head and let's say a vice president, right? Or any of the employees, kabhi aap cafeteria mein jaate hain, people are sitting there discussing a cricket match, right? And irrespective of the level of management that they belong to, कुछ वहां पे लोअर लेवल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट के भी बंदे हैं, कुछ मिडिल लेवल मैनेजमेंट के हैं, कुछ टॉप लेवल मैनेजमेंट के हैं, बट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ क्रिकेट मैच. दे आर जनरली शेयरिंग दैट देयर व्यू पॉइंट्स on how good or how bad the match was. This is an informal organization, right? They are not really talking about the organizational objective, but it is just there is a kind of a rapport building between them which is happening over there, right? So an informal organization, it basically develops on its own within the setup of a formal organization. What is the main purpose of an informal organization? Is to satiate the social needs. It is to satiate or satisfy the social needs of the employees of an organization. Then if we talk about structure, it does not have any well-defined structure. It does not have any well-defined structure that who is going to report to whom. You can just talk to anyone, right? Reporting relationships, there are no fixed reporting relationships. Because it does not have a definite structure, there are no fixed reporting relationships, right? Lack of stability, because it does not have a fixed structure and reporting relationships, therefore it is highly unstable, right? It is not stable in nature. Then it is flexible, there is a lot of flexibility, as the standards of behavior, it evolved from group norms. The standards of behavior meaning the way you are to behave, the way you are to talk, it is more a matter of a group norms, right? We don't have any official prescriptions over here about the standards of behavior. Then about chain of command, there is no official chain of command, right? Now coming to the advantages of informal organization, there is faster communication. You know, in every organization you will have people, you have these WhatsApp groups. Now what are these WhatsApp groups all about? They are informal organizations. You share jokes, you share some kind of information, right? But this is informal organization. Any WhatsApp group will never come under the purview of a formal organization because it doesn't follow the official chain of command. There is faster communication. Why? How come there is a faster communication? Because there are no fixed structures. It is not that if A has to talk something to about something to E, so he will have to approach these three people before he approaches E. No, it's not that. If they have met in the cafeteria suddenly, they can always discuss that thing out. This is informal organization, right? So faster communication, it helps in achieving organizational objectives. When we say that fine, they were sitting for a cup of tea and they were talking about a cricket match, so it's not only that, right? It's not that they're talking about that it's always that they're talking anything but something related to the organization. At times aisa bhi hota hai, like again I take the example of a school, right? At times it happens when you go out for excursions and all, right? Sometimes the vice principal or the principal also accompanies the teachers, fine? You tend to loosen up a little, right? You do talk about your grievances, you talk about you not getting enough number of opportunities, right? Although that is informal organization, you are just expressing that how happy or how unhappy you are, right? So there will definitely be a solution provided to it, and it is going to improve my efficiency in the organization, and thereby again, it is going to affect my contribution towards the accomplishment of the organizational goals. Then it fulfills the social needs of all employees, right? We have this Maslow's need hierarchy theory, which you are going to be studying in the chapters to come, right? It is a very important need of every human to relate to people around, right? It's very important for me to be, how would it be if you were to come to school every day, just take the lessons and then go back home? You are not allowed to talk to any of your friends, you are not allowed to share your tiffin during your break times with anyone else. Now, by talking to your friends or by sharing your tiffins or by going out for movies, what are you doing? You are satisfying your social needs. That is the need to relate to people around, the need to feel connected, the need to feel a part of the group. Now coming to the disadvantages of informal organization, they will always resist change. Informal organization will always resist change, right? Now why is it that informal organization is going to resist change? Because they are bound by the custom conventions and culture. So anything which makes an attempt to change these customs and culture, they are always going to resist that, or anything which goes against their custom and culture, they're going to resist that. Then it leads to spread of rumors. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है that you don't get to know, like in school it happens, okay, so and so has resigned, or so and so has been his services have been terminated. We get to know all this. In offices it's pretty common कि पता चला है कि उसकी promotion होने वाली है, right? What is this? These are called rumors. मतलब उसका कुछ constructive evidence नहीं है आपके पास, right? But you've just got to know it from people. These are called rumors, and this is a result of informal organization, right? Then third, it pressurizes members to conform to group norms. When we talk about इनफॉर्मल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, लेट्स से कि अगर किसी एक स्कूल में या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, राइट, ऑल द एम्प्लॉइज दे हैव फॉर्म्ड अ यूनियन, they formed a union, right, that we are, these are our demands, till the time हमारी ये demands पूरी नहीं होती हैं, right, we are not going to join back our duties. Let's say if all the teachers or let's say if all the doctors they go on a strike, right, till the time our demands are met, we are not, although one or two members may feel that, you know, it's all right, the management may take some time to consider whatever we have demanded, till that time we'll resume work, but you will be under tremendous pressure to conform to the norms of the group,